Hello, this is Caitlin Chips again. More on my cerebral palsy journey. I had to do a redo because I think there was some noise in the background. So I could stop wearing leg braces actually at the age of, until the age of 16, and I was able to stop going to physical therapy at the age of 12. I got that mixed up, so I had to do a redo anyway. And when I first got the Botox, they didn't tell us about the numbing ointment or anything. And the doctor said, well, maybe you should just stay home next time. And my mom's like, no, when your kid is upset like this, you're going to comfort your kid. And the next time I went, they gave us the saran wrap paper and the numbing ointment, and they had to wrap my legs up in saran wrap. And my parents kept telling me that I looked like a mummy. Anyway, so everything went okay there. And now when they do the Botox, they give you the cold spray. You just need to request it once, and every time you go in for the medical procedure, it will always be there. And with the cold spray, it doesn't really hurt. It just feels like a little bit of pressure when they put the medicine in. But I will warn you that the needle is kind of big, and they have this machine where they put like electrodes around the injection site, and then they'll inject the medicine, and they'll turn this machine on like a stimulator machine. And when they first turn it on, you'll hear a little bit of static, and they can control the stimulation, and they'll know the medicine is where they need it to be, because the stimulation machine will I guess, react to the medicine going into the muscle, and it'll cause the muscle to twitch. And that way they'll know the medicine is where they need it to be. Like with my left ankle, they do the medicine in my left ankle because my left ankle, due to the cerebral palsy, turns inward. So the medicine helps to straighten the ankle out a little bit. And I think they also do the medication in my right knee, I think it is, because my right knee turns to the left because of the cerebral palsy. So they do the medicine around that area to straighten that out as well. And we just did a new spot, which is the top of my hip. And there's a possibility we may be doing the back of my hip. I don't know yet, but there's a possibility we could be doing the back of the hip. But they do the medication in my hamstrings and my adductors. But the cold spray does help a lot with the discomfort. It doesn't feel like pain, but it's just like a little bit of pressure. And if you do need a little more of the cold spray on an area they're putting the medicine in, you can request it, and they'll just spray a little bit more of the cold spray on. It's like my doctor says, we are here for you. Anything you need, we are here for you. And like my doctor says, we're on this journey together. Go team. And after the procedure, you will feel a little bit of discomfort because once the numbing medicine wears off, you will know, because the Botox can be a rough shot to get because the needle goes right into the muscle. And please, nobody come for me. I am just explaining because I've had experience with this medical procedure to aid in my mobility and my stability. So the needle is pretty big, and it goes right into the muscle, and that's why it can be a rough shot to get. But with the cold spray, it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't really hurt, but it just feels like a little bit of pressure. But when you think about how it can aid in your mobility and stability, the medical procedure is worth it when you think about all the ways it can aid in your mobility and your stability. Because I remember at the thrift store I used to work at, I forgot my walker and I had to use the lavatory. So I walked into the lavatory and it was winter, and this was before I started the Botox procedures, and my legs locked up because my muscles were so tight because of the coldness. Because when it's cold, like in the wintertime, my cerebral palsy acts up and it makes my muscles so tense. It feels like I cannot move. Like my legs were locked up, like I could not move. I had to ask my former boss to help me back to the register because I couldn't move. My muscles were literally locked. But with the Botox, it helps me be able to move more comfortably and easily, especially since I am getting older and I do have a walker now. It is pink, it has a seat, and it has a basket. So I guess you could say I have the luxury model. It doesn't have the tennis balls on the back legs. It has two sets of wheels on the front and two sets of wheels on the back. And um, the walker has really helped me out with going on vacation, like the Monster Mania conventions, because if it wasn't for the walker, the Monster Mania conventions would be impossible for me to go to because the crowds can get pretty big. Like when we went to the convention where it was all the Jasons, I would describe it as the crowds were bumper to bumper. And my friend, and one of my friends, he works at the conventions, and he actually rescued us from the crowd by, I guess he was in the room, and I guess he saw my walker, so he probably recognized me by the walker. I felt somebody grab my hand, and I looked, and it was my friend, and he said, "Hold on, guys, I'm gonna help you guys out. Just follow my voice. I got you." And he helped us get out of the room. I don't remember if that was I think it was one of the Jason's rooms. I'm not sure. But he helped us get out of the crowd and we just retreated to our room because we just needed to get out of that crowd because that crowd was bumper to bumper. So, yeah, no, the Botox procedure is worth it in the long run because it helps with my mobility and stability. And the walker is also worth it because it helps me do a lot of things like go on vacations and do certain things by myself, like go shopping by myself and stuff like that. The only independence that I've lost because of the walker is being able to open doors by myself because sometimes some doors can be pretty heavy, but hey, not a big deal. Thank you for listening.